sé que me extrañas cada día. Se perdió el amor, lo siento, fue mala mía. Si fuera un cuento de fantasía, te llevaría a un paraíso y te besaría, pero look at me white and talking in Spanish.
Hello and welcome once again to another episode of the Cardboard Cave podcast. And we're super excited for today's episode. We're going to continue providing you all with our opinions with the spoilers of these upcoming set Aetherdrift and their commanders. That as well, we do have a full deck list of one of the commanders that I say personally that's freaking bonkers. But before anything, and we bring in our team to talk about sweet cardboard. I want to tell you guys one thing. Before anything, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel as well. Look for us in all of our social media as Cardboard Cave Podcast so that you guys can follow us and be up to date with anything and everything cardboard related and as well board game related. And as well, I really want to give thanks to each and one of you. We're about to reach 3,000 followers on TikTok. And I know, probably TikTok is going to go, but still we want to keep that platform alive for each and one of you. And if you guys have not yet transferred yourselves to our other platforms, go ahead. We do have new videos every Monday, every Friday here at the Cardboard Cave podcast. And as well, we do have the Put It on the Table podcast that is going to be once a month, and unboxings on the same scheduled timing as a Monday or Friday video. And as well, if you guys want to spice up your decks or commanders, is easy. Go to altersleeves.com/cardboard cave and or use our code cardboard cave to get 10% off your order. So let's go ahead and bring in our favorite director, the one and only Alejandro.
Yo,
Now, I did say in the backstage to Ale that I wanted to make a couple of announcements before we start our journey to the races of wacky racers. So, um if you guys have been following us for quite a while, you guys all know that we've been doing this for roughly 3 years. Um, and we experimented everything. We did YouTube Live, we did Twitch, we did TikTok Live, and we've noticed that you guys love more pre-recorded content. So we went ahead and just did pre-recorded content, and as well kept our TikTok community alive because you guys liked us keeping you guys updated with or up to date with all of the spoilers. Let it be our small skits that sometimes I would do, or our challenges with other community members of TikTok. Um, as well, our opinion in different things on Magic the Gathering. Let it be the rules committee, bannings of cards, opinions in regards to proxies, and among other things. Now that we're actually including more cardboard, we're talking about Pokemon, we're talking about Gundam. We have somebody that's going to be talking about board games, and we want to expand uh, our platform for everybody that's fan of Let It Be Cardboard, Let It Be board games. And 3 years, and we've been in the grind. And this year, I am super happy to not to announce two new sponsors to Cardboard Cave. Our first one, we still don't have a code yet, but I still want to announce it to all of you guys so that you guys can know we are going to bring their products to our show, like that we can see them, we can test them, and in the future we will do more things with them. But we have partnered with Tolarian Library, or the Proxy Goddess. Uh, they are going to be providing us a code for all of you, like that you guys can get 20% off the order. What is the difference between these proxies and proxies that you might find in other sketchy websites? One of the things that Wizard of the Coast does not like are counterfeits, or cards that or proxies that are actually imitating their product. You know that when you go ahead and rip them, they have the same kind of same core, or you rip them and they are just plain, plain cardboard. But if they are just playtest cards with a dark core, that's fine. But again, these are playtest cards. These are proxies that they can test out your decks. Let it be modern, let it be pioneer, commander, or whatnot. We partnered with Proxy Goddess like that we can provide to each and one of you a code. We don't have the code yet, but you guys can go pass by to their website, Tolarian Library, check their dual lands. They have different lands, different foils, different artwork. And the best thing of all, their prices are not high. Um, Usually when you go to other proxy websites, their prices are small if you buy a lot. In this case, the prices are not that bad. We will do a quality check when we receive our samples from Proxy Goddess, and I will be sending the samples to the whole team, like that they can have their own proxies as well, and we can go ahead and show you guys the quality of the product. Now, this next announcement, I was working in the silence. The guys only one of the guys knew because it was that person was the middleman of this deal, and we have officially partnered with a local game store here in Puerto Rico. So we are part of the Titan Games family. We don't have official logos or anything yet. And they signed our document today, so it's official. We're super happy. Um, I imagine that we will do then a meeting to sit down and work everything out on how we're going to be doing content and how we're going to be doing other things with them, especially the board game side as well, because this is not only for cardboard. For cardboard, we're doing this as well for the board game side, and as well, we want to promote both of their stores. They do have two stores. All of their information will be on the description in future videos. This video is just a simple announcement, and I kept it in the quiet for the guys like I could to be like, hey, here you go, guys. Now now we have a lot of work to do. But I'm super happy and glad that our hard work, every Wednesday we record content. Ale and myself take sometimes additional days to record content together. Um, I record content as well, playing arena. So I think that all of our hard work is being paid off, and it's not only for us. This is all thank you to each and one of you, because we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys. So that is our big announcement. So Ale, being the fact that you already knew about one of them, because one of them was you told me to approach Proxy Goddess, and but what do you think about this announcement now that we have this are going to be our fourth year, and things are looking promising?
About damn time. That's good. It's good. It's a great store. I've gone there many times. They have a lot of variety in terms of product. The one that I went in Caguas, it's very spacious. They always do all types of tournaments. They're very much open to all types of players, commander players, pauper players, standard, modern, pioneer, and they also accept every game under the sun. You know, they have Yu-Gi-Oh. They have very much a lot of product, a lot of competitive prices. They're very good. They're very solid people. I like them a lot. I like them a lot. So
No,
we're
say
moving on up, and hopefully
exactly.
this collaboration allows us to have product early, so we can show you guys unboxings, ideally, and be able to show you the new stuff that's coming out. Um, that being TCG or board games, which is also important. So
Yes.
all the cardboard
All the
stuff.
cardboard in the world. Yes. All the cardboard in the world. We're super excited to work with these two great people. So just in case for each and one of you, we will do mostly the same way that other creators do. We might put these sponsorships at the start of the video, like that you guys just get pure content from the rest. Or maybe we'll do like radio shows do. One day Ale says, "Hey, so don't forget about Titan Games," and one day I can say Proxy Goddess. One day JP can be the one that says it. So we're open to to your opinion. Tell us in the comments below which version you like better. Everything from the start or sporadically mentioning it sporadically mentioning it. So I'm super excited for that. So Ale, let's go ahead and move forward with talking about the the new. I totally went off my mind. What I kept thinking about what I of the announcement. So let's keep moving forward with the spoilers. There's a lot of great cards that have come in. Sadly, Scryfall is not fully updated, so we
Mhm.
have to go
Let's
to another
go
website.
to MTG Goldfish. They have a section on the top. I don't use Scryfall unless the whole set is released. Scryfall is my go-to. But while stuff is being released, I usually go for MTG Goldfish. When they're spoiling the things, they're spoiling it very much on time. As they're being released on Twitter, they're also putting it on their website. Also, if it's on Reddit, like 5 minutes later, it'll be on the website. So you can just go to MTG Goldfish, and they have it separated by announcement date, or you can put it by color, by price, all of that. So
Okay,
you
I'm
can go there.
here. Let me
Pretty solid.
see
In the
date
Yeah, in the upper
date
part, yeah, you can put
preview.
by day. You can kind of break it down. It's pretty good. Pretty good. We're not sponsored by them. It'd be awesome. I've seen the Asian Avenger twice, but I failed to talk to him. My girlfriend has a picture of him, so it's cool. She has a little selfie with him, but I have not talked to him. Be like, hey, would you like a Spanish section? We can be MTG Pescadito.
MTG Pescadito, yeah. Just in case, if you guys notice, I do have something cribbling on my side here. This was a gift from my wife. Sadly, it's in my frame. I can't remove it from my frame. But yeah, you'll see this for a while there. So okay, guys. So let's go ahead and go to the spoilers. Have our Chrome tab here. Oh, whoop. Suckity. Yeah. Okay, so it's day previewed, so these are the most recently ones that have been previewed. Um and Ale, from the first 5 cards, which one catches your eye?
So it's kind of interesting. Oh, these are all new. You gotta give me a second. I did not realize. There's an insane one in the Kylorna Coral Tyrants, 2 costed card. It's a legendary creature, Octopus is 0/8. That's an immense wall that might breed
Yes.
something with wall decks or whatever. I thought the white one was something I saw earlier today, but it's not. I'm just going to read Monument of It to Endurance because I like artifacts. It is a rare artifact. Whenever you discard a card, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. So that's interesting. You can draw a card. You can create a treasure token that does not come on tap, which is good. And each opponent loses 3 life. I like that Monument to Endurance, especially if you have a wheels deck or if you have a discard deck. You can kind of like take advantage of that, even though it's like fixed, so you can't abuse it outright. I still think it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For 3 mana, it's not bad because you can cast it and then later use it, because it's not like something that you need to use it. But for a cycle deck is super fine.
yeah. You can because
What
you can cycle in your turn 3 times, and then you can cycle in the
Mhm.
opponent's turn 3 times, and you're drawing a card, and you're netting the mana that you need for the cycle, and then you're burning them very slowly, but you're burning them. So it has a lot of utility. You could put it in a cycle deck, you could put it in a discard deck, you could put it in a wheels deck. So yeah,
Mhm.
I dig it.
It's a very versatile artifact. The
Yeah.
card that a lot of people have been talking about, at least in social media, there's
Mhm.
other cards that they have been talking about, but Guardian Sunmare, a
Mm.
3/2 white creature horse mount, has ward 2, is a 5/5 and has saddle 4. So this is what this creature does. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, search your library for a non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle.
No, it's the inverse Sun Titan. You do need to saddle it in saddle 4, so it's a little bit hard to do.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can tutor a non-land card, which is that's why it's pretty busted, and you tutor it from your deck and you just play it, that's scary. That's pretty scary.
So you attack and you
It's a
for the
fixed
monument.
Sun Titan. Yeah, it's a fixed Sun Titan, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty strong because it has Ward too, so it's pretty well protected.
You can use the Guardian Sunmare with the it's from Hour of Devastation. The unicorn. Is it a unicorn? I don't know. I know that there is a horse
Yeah, it's
that
a horse.
whenever you gain life, you make a token. If I'm not mistaken, right?
Perhaps, yeah, you probably a horse mare or something like that, and
Yeah.
I think you make a horse, and other horses get
Mhm.
+1/+1. Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
hey, you can a horse saddling another
horses. Yes,
that sounded so wrong. My
yeah.
bad. Okay. The next card, at least for myself and
Mhm.
JP, I wish JP Sally couldn't be here with us. He had a surgery a couple of days ago.
He's good though.
Um,
He's good.
and he's good. He's
It's
good.
not bad. It's not a bad surgery. He's just
It's not bad. Yeah, it's not a bad surgery. So it was something with his tooth,
yeah.
so he
He's
still
good,
feels pain. So
and
I
he
told him
can't
like,
talk
hey,
for obvious
and he
reasons.
can't talk. So we told him go to sleep. But something that that we talked about while we were talking about Morrow's list is the dinosaur lord. There's
Yes.
Regal Imperiosaur.
Mhm.
The thing that got me out of the way of this card is that it's only 3 mana.
Yeah.
3 mana 5/4. It's the exact same power and toughness as the raptor, but inverted. Because I
Mhm.
think the raptor is a 4/5.
And the elf card that was in Dominaria back then.
Yes.
That elf
The
thing, I
3
don't
cost
remember.
1.
Yeah, it's 3 costed 1, 3 blue 3 green pips. It's 5/3. And I think that the effect was that it can be blocked by creatures 2 or less or
Or
something like
less,
that, I
yes.
think. Yeah. So
Then
this
the
is
raptor had the end range that if it got
yes,
damaged,
yes,
you could
yes.
draw a card.
This one's kind of interesting. So I saw Seth's video on this card and the other one that we're probably going to discuss too. The +1/+1 other dinosaurs you control, have +1/+1 or whatever. He mentioned that it's cool if you have like low costed small dinosaurs, but in reality,
Mhm.
you just have big beaters. So when you think about it, a lord in a dinosaur tribal deck, will it do anything? Because a Galta is going to be a 12/12. Like you're not adding
Yeah.
anything. Like you're not by making the 13/13 is not an amazing threat. It's already a threat at 12/12. So what he's thinking is it has two utilities. One of it is it's a 5/3 for 3, which is already great on its own. It's like amazing vanilla stats. So you can just play it as is. You can just do a playset of these and you play 2 of them. You have a 6/4 and a 6/4. So it becomes kind of crazy. The other thing is there's a lot of lost caverns of Ixalan cards that are dinosaurs and they're weenie dinosaurs. Weenie dinosaurs
Mhm.
that make eggs that are dinosaurs too. So the idea would be you have kind of this resilient deck where you play a bunch of small dinosaurs. You have this lord that comes in turn 3 and he boosts your tiny creatures into being slightly bigger. And then if they die, I believe they make eggs, which are also dinosaur eggs. And then you can kind of like steamroll the opponent that way. You have a lot of resiliency. So it's pretty solid. Like it has really good stats. It's just as
Yeah.
a lord, it was still weird lord.
Yeah. This is a great card for standard.
Yes.
It's just a great card for standard.
Mhm.
For commander, like you mentioned, if you're playing tribal dinosaurs, you are playing Jurassic Park, so that means that you have big
Yeah.
dinos. You don't have
Yeah.
small dinos,
Yeah.
unless you're playing copies. But copies, it's a big dinosaur either way when you play the card.
Agree.
So one of the other things that me and JP got to talk about in Morrow's list is that in Morrow's list they mentioned a new Lotus,
Mhm.
and Ale, we got the new Lotus.
Mhm.
It costs 6 mana, man.
Yes, a lot of mana.
6 mana, tap, sacrifice one or more artifacts, choose a color. Target player adds 3 mana of the chosen color for each artifact sacrificed this way.
Correct.
You know that I was thinking
Yeah.
you can use deflecting SWAT for this.
Yes, because it's not a mana ability. And
Yes.
also it's not a mana ability, which is also the downside, but also it kind of fixes the card a little bit. So I was with you because we talked about it and we both kind of agreed that it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
I saw Seth's video on this and he proposed that it's actually pretty broken. Thankfully, the card has ways to stop it because it's not a mana ability. The way that it's not a mana ability, it's because it says target player adds 3 mana of the chosen color to each for each artifact sacrificed this way. So if it says target player, it bypasses the idea of being a mana ability. You're actually doing like the ability on somebody. So it can be stifled. It can be stopped by any means necessary. You can put something on the stack to stop it. So you can just tap it and lose all your artifacts and do nothing with it. So you got to be very careful when you use it. Now, he argues it's pretty busted regardless, and it only gets better as you go back to different formats in Magic's history. So if you go to Modern, it's basically a new form of Clank Ironworks. The only problem is you can only do it once. It's not like Clank Ironworks where you play like a zero cost thing, you sack it, and then you do something else, and you sack it, and you do something else, and you sack it. This one, you kind of have to do it all in one go. But there's possibilities of kind of abusing this if you have the right materials to do so. There's a lot of cards that allow you to make a bunch of tokens, and that happens in Commander. It happens also in Legacy. Legacy, apparently, people use Crown Jewel, which is the 6 costed mana rock that makes 3 mana, and then I think you draw 3 cards and then you give it to the opponent, and they can use it to tap it for mana. That apparently is being used a lot, either in Legacy or Vintage. I'm not sure, but it's used in a lot of old formats. I would assume the Radiant Lotus would be used a lot more because at the same cost, you get to sack your Moxen, or you get to sack a lot of artifacts that no longer had a lot of utility on them, and you're able to create a bunch of mana to just close out the game. In Commander, the utility lies in utilizing with commanders that care about making a lot of tokens, and also you have stuff like Academy Rector or Academy Mentor, the artifact that when you make a token, like you make either a clue, a food, or a treasure, you make one of each.
Academy
Manufacturer, thank you. So you make a bunch, and there's this commander that I think JP built a while back is the Simic one, where you make clues, where you sack clues, and then you get cards from the top. So then you start making a lot of clues, and then you start making a lot of other tokens. You use this, you tap it once, you sack all of those things, you create a bunch of mana, you kind of close out the game. In that regard, it's kind of broken. Also, he argued that even if you don't have a deck that's geared towards that, obviously, like sort of for like an Urza deck, this is kind of broken too, because you have a lot of artifacts, you create a lot of artifacts, you can stack them all in one go, and you kind of do a lot more stuff. But the cool thing about this card is it gives utility to your mana rocks. So as we know, mana rocks, as the game progresses, kind of diminish in their impact and value. They're very useful early to mid, but then in late game, 1 extra mana is not going to make a difference. But you know what's going to make a difference? When you sack that artifact, you make 3 mana of one color. That's when it kind of becomes more useful. So I think the way that Seth kind of proposes this card makes me think that it's actually pretty good. And given the cost right now of $50, it's probably going to go lower. It's probably going to be like a $30 card because I'm thinking pretty sure it's going to use a lot in Commander. I can see this card being a problem if you don't prepare for it. If you don't have a stifle in hand, if you don't have something to kind of stop that ability from going off. Someone might be like, oh, oops, I sack my 20 treasures. I make 60 mana, and now I'm just gonna close out the game now. I'm just gonna do like a bunch of stuff.
And
so
then before you target yourself, I am going to deflecting SWAT, and I'm gonna get all that mana for my friend.
Exactly. So as long as you prep for it, you're gonna be okay. So that's why I think like there's ways to mitigate it so it's not completely broken. It's not like a full-fledged mana ability where you can't interact once that's on the field. It's not like Clank Ironworks, which that admittedly was a problem, and it's still a problem when you face it. This one is a little more fixed, but there's a there's a big upside if you get to pull it off. So I like it. I might be able to get a copy, stick it in my Urza deck, or stick it in some artifact centric deck, which I have like 7 of those. I'll be able to use and abuse it a lot. So it's cool. But
I'm right
I agree
now.
with you. It's heavily costed. Like, yeah, it's heavily costed.
I'm right now like you just said all of that, and I'm like here in my mind that card can go on my Kellogg's commander
Yeah, it can.
because manufacturer does other artifacts that I don't use. So
Hmm.
and I'm like, "Poof." Yeah, I agree with you. You know, it's still 6 mana. I will probably get one for only my only artifacts commander. Um, so yeah, I think that yeah, but
Or
still,
or you can get that sweet code when we get it and use that code for Tolarian Library and get multiple proxies of Radiant Lotus. Not a problem.
true
Just a
story.
thought. Just a thought. Yeah.
Just a thought for all of you.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, our next rare is a lumbering world wagon. It's 2 and green artifact vehicle. It's a rare. This vehicle's power is equal to the number of lands you control. Whenever this vehicle enters or attacks, you may search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. It has crew 4.
Yeah, I think it's cool. 3 mana. It's a cultivate. It's slightly weaker cultivate actually, because I think cultivate gets you 2 lands. The slightly weaker cultivate, but on the plus side, when you attack with it, it doesn't need to be crude, so that's good. Oh no, it's a
Mhm.
vehicle. It's not a
It's a
creature.
vehicle. It's not a creature.
I guess it's okay.
Uh,
I thought it was a creature for a brief second, but
this
since it's
this
a
is
vehicle,
this is
and
a
it's crew 4,
fine.
that's a lot. It's a lot.
It is, but this is fine for like these commanders that care about lands.
Yeah, yeah.
This is fine for that because most of those commanders, have high costed creatures. So
Mhm.
if you have this like turn 3, probably have a 4/4 next turn or something bigger. It can work. It can work. Okay, Ale, we're gonna go to the next ones. Take it away.
Uh, Give me 1 second. Okay. I kind of want to talk about the mimeoplasm because that one's kind of interesting. So mimeoplasm, as we know, it's sort of like a reference to this character that we've seen before, and actually, I think he was in the first Commander product too. So
If I'm not
mimeoplasm,
mistaken, yeah.
yeah. So mimeoplasm revered one. It's an X, black, green, and a blue. For a 0/0 legendary creature ooze. It's a mythic. As mimeoplasm enters, exile up to X target X creatures from your graveyard. It enters with 3+1/+1 counters on it for each creature card exiled this way. You pay 2. Mimeoplasm becomes a copy of target creature card exiled with it, except is a 0/0 and has this ability. So he becomes like the ultimate ooze, where he exiles all these creatures that you have, and you start making this monstrosity of a ooze with all these probably static abilities or activated abilities, and you keep just adding more and more to it. This card has potentially because of the colors that it has potentially to go off infinite, basically on its own. It can do
Yeah.
many things on its own. I can't think. I'm not like JP. I can't think of like 1,000 combos on the top of my head, but I know
No,
there's like
JP.
the
That's why
devoted
JP
druid.
is our goat.
I know
JP
that
is the
JP's
goat.
always our guy for this. He's always the one with the combos. I think it's devoted druid or the not devoted druid. It's the druid, the elf that you tap it and then you put a -1 counter to untap it. If you find a way to
I
be able
think
to
it. I
mitigate,
think it's devoted druid. If
it
I'm
is
not
devoted druid,
mistaken.
right? Perfect. So you
Yeah.
devoted druid, you can devoted druid. It also comes with a bunch of 1+1/+1 counters. So you can kind of like tap and untap a bunch. And there's another card in these colors, I'm pretty sure, where you can kind of mitigate the -1/-1 counter on it, and be able to make it into an upside, or have an innate ability within the creature itself that you can kind of sink all this quote unquote infinite mana into it. Which again, I'm pretty sure in these colors, there must be, especially in black, there's probably like an deal X damage to the opponent's life directly or whatever. this is very abusable. This is obviously something you
Yes.
can kind of like do a lot with. Of course, it requires a little bit of setup. You need to have like a sort of a graveyard synergistic deck where you're like milling a bunch
Hmm.
of these creatures out or trying to get all these creatures from the graveyard. But since you have blue, you can mitigate all these problems by just having a bunch of counter spells. So yeah, I like this a lot. It's gonna be fun to see people brewing this. I would love to kind of brew this because it's kind of interesting. It's kind of a little bit out of my wheelhouse. I'm not a lot I'm into a lot of graveyard shenanigans, but this will be kind of interesting to kind of build around. So
Yeah, I completely agree. I wouldn't build it because it's not my style of play.
yeah,
I think I should start dabbling in other styles of play. One style of play that I would love to get into is the lands. I would love to get into like the style of like playing a lot of lands. I think
yeah.
that that's one style that I want to play. And I'm super excited because I was looking through these cards, right?
Mhm.
And we got our one drop red that starts your engine.
Ooh, yes. So
So
we got, but
burnout.
we have three now. We have three one costed cards to start your engine. So there's
Ooh,
something there. There's something with a
there's
weenie type of
something
build.
there.
Yeah.
Hey, so burnout bash Trinot. Love the name. One drop creature goblin warrior. Menace, start your engine. Has a 2 cost ability that this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn.
Yup.
And if it's max speed, it has double strike and it's a 1/1.
Yup.
I like the fact that they didn't put haste. Obviously, this is coming from somebody that loves haste, but it would have been too broken if it was like a turn one, start your
Hey,
engine
start
haste,
your engine. It'd be
1/1.
insane.
That would
Too
be
good. Too
insane.
good. Too
Too
good.
good. But again, like I mentioned, having this card, there's 2 routes that you can do this. You can either do Rakdos haste or Rakdos wins or mono red wins. And Hazret is a very, very, very playable card in standard.
Yeah.
Killing it. We're killing it here.
Oh yeah.
My camera just froze. Okay, Alec, can continue with the next one?
There's this Gonti, which I didn't know existed. So there's a new Gonti apparently. Gonti, Knight Minister, 2 colors and 2 black for a legendary creature, Aetherborn Rogue, 3/4. It states, whenever a player casts a spell they do not own, that player creates a treasure token, which already feels very Gonti.
Yeah.
Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller looks at the top card of that opponent's library and exiles it face down. They may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. Mana of any type can be spent to cast this spell this way. So Gonti is like a night monster, not a minister, because this sounds insane and abusive and crazy, and it's gonna make people at the table hate everyone else. Because
Yes.
now it's going to incentivize be like, okay, so I'm not going to attack the Gonti player because he has that great ability. If I attack someone else who's my opponent, I can just start getting stuff from them. So they're going to be attacking each other to be able to get stuff. And they get treasures for it too when they cast and they do stuff. So yeah, this Gonti is kind of crazy. I don't know. I don't think it's as busted as the first one from Aetherborn. Aether, Aether,
Aether
Aether,
Revolt.
Aether Revolt, exactly. Yeah, Aether Revolt. It's not as
Yeah,
strong as Aether Revolt,
the one that when it enters the battlefield, you
you get
take
4. Yeah, you
you
can
get
take top
4
4,
cards.
and then you get one
Yeah.
of them, I think, and then you can pay any mana to cast it. It's not as strong as that, but I think this one goes well with that one. You know what I mean? So, maybe you can put this one as your commander, have the other one, because
Hmm.
this one takes a little bit to build off. Although if you have a lot of weenies or you have ways to kind of like deal damage to the opponents, you can start getting a bunch of stuff for free. But I like the versatility of the original Gonti because you get 4 cards deep, and you can pick any one of
Yeah.
them, and you're able to cast it at any time for any mana cost. So that's still the OG one is the best one, but this one is kind of interesting. So I dig it.
Hmm. Let's go to the next cards. I know that there's one card that you want to talk
Yeah,
about.
so I'm gonna talk about it right now. So we have a new blue enchantment, and when you say blue enchantment, it's gonna be broken. I'm surprised that it only costs $15, to be honest. It is 2 colorless and a blue enchantment that reads at the beginning of your end step, untap all non-land permanents you control. It is reclam on wilderness reclamation. It's literally
Yeah,
wilderness
wilderness
reclamation
reclamation.
for blue. Granted, it does say non-land permanents, but just play mana rocks. If you're playing mono blue, you're probably going to play a bunch of mana rocks. Or if you're playing, I don't know, Urza Lord Artificer for 3 mana, I make all my freaking zero costed artifacts untap and I can cast stuff on the opponent's turn for 3 mana. This is an extra unwinding clock in my deck. It is insane. I cannot believe they printed something so ridiculous. I'm just thankful it says non-land, but at the same time, that is the benefit. That it literally says non-land. It makes it actually better in mono blue or in blue strategies. So now you can play both. You can have this, and if you have like a Simic deck, you're like facing the gods for this card right now. And what I love the most is the flavor text. Jace knew that if he just had time to explain his plan, he would have found support. Unfortunately, time was in short supply. And looking how evil that Jace is looking, I'm going to be looking all evil with that card on the field.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm loving that. That's a great card.
Literally, this card just brought me to my mind. Like, hey, you know, there's sometimes when you play CEDH and you're like, hey, how about I have that? You know, it's my turn. I think I'm gonna go crazy, especially me that I like to play Shurikai. How about I play Shurikai turn 1? How about in turn 2 I play Unstoppable Plan because I can.
Yep. You tap short guy, then you untap, you tap short. Bro, it's so abusable. I don't get it. And it's 3 mana. If it was at least 4 mana, you'd be like, okay, you know, it's kind of balanced.
Exactly.
At 3 mana, it's too quick. You can play that on turn 2 if you're smart about it. And if you're playing on turn 2, that implies you have a Soul Ring, which means you're untapping that Soul Ring already. And
Oh,
you're
yeah.
untapping maybe another Moxen or whatever you might have on the side. You can play this on turn 1 if you have enough stuff. You're going to be able to play this on turn 1. Say you have a land, you play a Soul Ring, then you play something else, and you play like a Moxen. You tap all those things. You play a Soul Plan on turn 1. Those rocks on tap, and now you have mana for the opponents.
Yep.
No. They were smoking something good. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to highlight this the Debris Beetle. Debris Beetle is basically Siege Rhino, but in a vehicle. I like the fact that it has crew 2 and it's a 6/6. It has the same mana cost as Siege Rhino. Siege Rhino was at 4 mana cost, but I think that I think
There's a
Siege
3/5.
Rhino, Siege Rhino was a 3/5?
Mm-hmm. A 3/5, 3/4, something like that. It had a really big butt, which made it like a very formidable card. So, but it was 4 costed. It was 4 costed.
It was 4 costed and it had the same ability that when it enters the battlefield, opponents lose 3, you gain 3. The fact that this is a 4-drop with crew 2, that's great because if this is something that you would like to, you know, run to, you know, if you have like pilots that you can tap for this, hey, it's a 6/6 going to the face with trample. So it's a decent card, probably for standard.
Yep.
Okay.
I think for standard, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for standard for sure. Okay, here you go. We have a dinosaur warrior that's cool, but we're not gonna talk about that. This is good for that lord that we talked about.
The dinosaur ooze is kind of cool, I guess. Giant vanilla creature. The one that's kind of interesting is the crocodile because he's a 7/2 for 3 mana in black. So kind of cool if you're like into the Yorgle strategies where you have like a big beater. This thing you play on turn 3. If you have like the boots, you can start already hitting people.
Yeah.
And it's a really fast way of doing 21 commander damage. It only takes 3 hits from that guy. So something interesting to consider. It's janky as hell, but if you want to make like a weird deck where you're beating people down with a crocodile,
or that you equip the Aether Spark to the crocodile.
For sure, that'd be even more crazy. Yeah. Funny, super funny.
But another card that a lot of people have been at least talking about in the chats that I'm in Magic the Gathering here in Puerto Rico, a lot of people are talking about spectacular pile up. It's 3 and 2 white sorcery. This is the reason why I'm like, I don't know why they're talking about it, but hey, sure, it's a sorcery. All creatures and vehicles lose indestructible until end of turn, then destroy all creatures and vehicles. It has cycling too.
I think
I
it's
don't
because of
know.
those two things. It's that easy. It's sure it's 5 mana, but you get to make everything lose indestructibility, which is kind of important. Maybe not in standard, but perhaps in stuff like
Perhaps in
Commander. It's a very
Commander.
in Commander. I love it because the versatility. So you have that. Sure, it has vehicles. That's not the thing that matters. What matters is you make creatures that have indestructible lose it, and you can actually wipe the whole board. The other benefit is if you see that's not going to happen or you're scrambling to find something better, you can just cycle it away.
Cycle it.
So
Okay.
that's the versatility is what makes it nice. And we've seen WotC push for versatility since Magic Arena. The primary format that people play is best of one. So
Yeah.
they have been pushing a lot of cards that have dual modes or they can do a bunch of stuff in one singular card because since you don't have a sideboard, you have to play with the cards that you have in your deck. So they're trying to make a lot of these cards have a lot of different abilities so they can serve different functions. In this case, you have a board wipe, but if you're playing against a control player, like a board wipe isn't going to help me because he just has 7 planeswalkers. So you cycle this
Mhm.
away, try to get something better.
Yep. Yeah, I
Yep.
completely now that I see it that way, yeah, I was thinking more about standard. That's why.
Yeah, it's. I think it's probably too expensive. I think Wrath of God is in standard, and for I don't know
Yeah,
if
Wrath of
in
God. I
right?
think
It
it's in
came out in
Foundation.
on Foundation, so technically Wrath of God is better, but I like the versatility this provides. So there might be a
And
home
if you
for it.
and as well, if you don't, I think that as well, Fumigate is available as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Fumigate's kind of good because you get life,
You get
life
life.
gain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, next one. There's only one rare. Do you want to take this one?
yes, sir. Okay, Afterburner Expert. 2 colorless and a green for a creature Goblin Artificer. It's a 4/2. It has exhaust. You can pay 2 colorless and 2 green. Put 2/1/1 counters on this creature. You can only do exhaust once, only once. And
Mhm.
whenever you activate an exhaust ability, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it's just an enabler for exhaust. So if you have a deck that is about exhaust, you can return this card if it's in your graveyard. So it's like basically a free card that comes back and has its exhaust ability again. So it's cool. 3 mana for a 4/2. It's pretty nicely costed. Since it's a 4/2, it can die pretty quickly. So then you can just reanimate it later on when you're exhausting something else. Fine.
Yep. It's a fine card. Okay,
Yeah.
here in this row, we don't have rares. I know that a lot of people loved the Spike Shell Harrier because, hey, Blue Shell, Mario Kart.
Mhm. Yes, the reference. And I
The
think there's the
reference.
Mario. The Mario is a dairy mechanic. That's the
Yeah,
actual
dairy
Mario card.
mechanic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their mechanic is actually Mario. So yeah, I guess we're going back to the gimmicks.
Yeah,
We're making the
Wacky
references.
Racers.
Yeah,
The Wacky
weird,
Racers and
weird
Mario Kart.
references. We're literally doing Mario Kart. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so in this line of cards, we do have one mythic, the Speed Demon, 3 and 2 black legendary creature demon 5/5. That it has flying trample, start your engines. It says at the beginning of your end step, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is your speed. And then it says caution is for those who falter. That's the flavor text. Love it.
It's a good mythic. It's a good mythic. It's probably gonna see standard play. I'm thankful it's a legendary because that means you can't put 1,000 of them on the field because that would be kind of crazy.
Yep.
Being a flying trample 5/5 for 5, it's pretty well costed. And when you play it, if you haven't started your engines, which by then you probably already had, but assuming you didn't, it actually reads 5/5 for 5. It's a flying trample. At the end of turn, I lose 1 life, draw 1 card.
Exactly.
Or worse, because like I said, it's a 5 costed card. So probably you have let's say 2 or 3 speed already. So it actually reads draw 3 cards at the end of your turn. It's
No,
it's
yeah,
pretty good.
this is where it gets interesting. Again, like I mentioned, you can either build mono red or Rakdos wins.
Yeah.
Speed Demon is your additional card for Rakdos win, and it goes in curve. That's the perfection of
Yep.
it,
Yep.
because this Speed Demon can be your glory bringer.
Mhm.
And if
Yep.
by any chance, let's say for instance, Speed Demon is your final card in hand, you already up in max speed. You can attack with Hazred. Let's say that they exile your Hazred. If you have Speed Demon in your hand, you cast it, you draw 4 cards.
Yeah.
You lose 4, you draw 4, but you have 4 cards for you to use and abuse. So
Yep.
it's just it's
It's
just
good.
amazing.
Yeah, it's good. Very good.
Oh, and I just got confirmation of
Hmm.
something.
Yeah.
So I want to tell to all of our viewers that if you go to TolarianLibrary.com,
Oh,
it will be active by the time that you see this. It will be active. You can use code CBCMTG, and it's 20% off your order.
oh. Now you
We
take this
will,
and you put it at the beginning.
yeah. I'll put all of this information at the beginning as well.
Yeah. You put it twice.
Yeah.
Put it 7 times. It's cool. It's cool. Thank you, Tolarian Library. Not to be
Yes,
confused
thank
with
you,
Tolarian
Tolarian.
Academy.
Yeah, exactly. Not Tolarian Academy, Tolarian Library.
Tolarian
Hey,
Library.
Prof, if you want us to be in your next episode, just invite us.
Oh, of course. We'll teach you Spanish. We'll teach you all the naughty
Yes,
words. We'll teach you Bad
yes.
Bunny. You want.
We'll
I don't
teach you
care.
Bad Bunny. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, Alan, which of these 2 cards would you like to cover? I
Let's
imagine that the
see.
Gearhulk, isn't it? Right?
The Gearhulk sounds interesting, but the other one also sounded good. But I'll do the Riptide Gearhulk. One colorless, 2 white and 2 blue for a artifact creature construct. 2/5. It has double strike. It has prowess. When this creature enters, for each opponent, put up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls into its owner library, third from the top. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's kind of good that it has double strength because I looked at the 2/5 kind of funny for a second, and it has prowess, so it has means to become scarier.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of being able to bounce at least one stuff when it enters. It does say enter, not cast. I think I think for standard it's kind of solid because if you have sort of a control strategy, much like the mono blue Gearhawk from back in the day, which acted like a very costed Snapcaster mage.
Yeah.
This one is not. It's not like that mono blue one. It's a little bit underpowered, but it's very good for like a control build because this can be your creature. This can be your only creature in that. You can make an Azorius control build. You put 4 of these, so you have a 5-costed card that has prowess. So all your other counter spells, draw spells will trigger it. It has double strike, so you have the means of kind of stopping your opponent from winning, or you have a means of killing your opponent with actual damage, and be able to bounce something third from the top. It's pretty useful in a pinch. I wish, but maybe I'm asking for too much. I wish it had flash because
Yo,
that
you just
ability,
read my mind.
it sounded very good if it had flash. Doing this in sorcery speed, it doesn't feel as good. I would have
Exactly.
actually changed the double strike and I would have just had flash instead.
Flash.
I would have preferred it.
I
Definitely. But
agree.
it's cool. Solid.
It's cool. The next one is one of my most fun ways to defeat my opponents. That's milling. So it's River Turn Monument. It's 1 and 1 blue artifact, so that means you can have a lot of them. For 1 colorless mana, you can tap and any number of target players. Each mill 2 cards. It does have an exhaust ability for 4 mana, 2 blue and 2 colorless, and you tap any number of target players again. Each mill cards equal to the number of cards in their graveyard.
I like it. I like it.
Broken.
It's gonna be used in all the mill strategies. If you have the
Yes.
mono blue one with Bruvac, or if you have the what was it, the mirror one, it's gonna go in all those type of decks.
Mhm.
It's really, really solid because it's any number of target players. So you can even mill yourself. You're definitely gonna mill everyone else.
Yeah.
And when you're ready, because you milled half their library, round it up, round it down, whatever, you're just gonna exhaust and just kill them off. Kill them.
And
So
again, it goes in curve. Turn 1 crab, turn 2 monument, turn 3 fraying sanity
yes,
or psychic corrosion.
yes.
There's so many things that you can do in 3
Now,
turns.
my question is, do we have enough cards in standard to be able to do a mill strategy now? Do we have the crab? Do we have
I think that we do have a crab. We have the
okay,
ones from Dustmorn. You can do
okay.
an enchantment build. I think that one is enchant. I think that it says whenever you play an enchantment or artifact. So I don't remember. I probably might
If
be
it's an
wrong.
artifact, that's the one. And if it works like that.
But we do have a crab in standard that does let you milk cards, and
Mhm.
as well in Dustmorn, I think there is a couple of cards that you can use to mill your opponent. The reason why I know this is because in one of our one of our videos that I did for Arena, that was my strategy. I was milling everybody.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
So in the draft, I think I got to get 2 crabs. And then what I did was I did a blue black Demir mill strategy, and with the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that the crab says whenever you play an enchantment or complete a room,
Yeah,
so you make your opponent mill twice, so that's great.
that's good. So
You know,
there's something
that's
there.
really good.
There's something
There's
there.
something there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a bunch of
Commons
uncommons
and
here,
uncommons.
commons and uncommons here. A lot of people loved Voyage Home,
Mhm.
because it's a sorcery. You can draw 3 and gain 3, and it has
Yes, I was
affinity
gonna
for
mention that.
artifacts.
That card is scary good.
Yes.
Yeah, it has the capacity of being. Thankfully, it's a uncommon and not a common. If that was a common, it would
Mhm.
break Popper completely. It would destroy it because having a bunch of very low costed artifacts on the field, and then you just play that for 2 mana because it's always gonna be 2 mana. Yeah, it sounds very strong. Drawing 3 cards and
Yeah,
getting 3 lives. So yeah,
it's really strong. It's really
I
cool.
like it. I like it a lot.
And then we have one card here that's our rare, and it's Ben Stiller.
Yes, it is. It literally is Mentor.
It's Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
What was the name of the movie?
Tropic Thunder, right?
It
Or
was
is it Zoolander?
Zoolander, was
I
it? I
feel
don't
it feels like.
remember.
Oh no! It is. Maybe it's Dodgeball. Is it Dodgeball?
No, I think it's Extraordinary Gentleman.
Extraordinary Gentleman, Ben
Yeah,
Stiller. Maybe
that
I don't know.
now I want to Google it.
I thought
Now
it
I
was
want to Google.
Dodgeball because he does look like when he's in Dodgeball, he has like the little thing. And then
How about you tell our fans what the card does, and I will
okay,
Google this.
Gas Guzzler. It's also one costed start your engine card. So it's black. Is a 2/1 creature vampire rogue. He has start your engine. This creature enters tap, thankfully, and it also has max speed. Black. Sacrifice another creature or vehicle. Draw a card. So there's an enabler. You pay 1. You play a tapped. It produces start your engines. You start hitting your opponent. Once you reach max speed, which is very easy to do, and especially in this card, which appears to be more of a aristocrats build, you play this, you start stacking some of the other stuff, you start triggering your aristocrats, and then you draw cards on top of that. Seems kind of good. I can understand why it costs $12. And if there's an aristocrats build on the way or already here in standard, it's sort of an auto include. It's pretty solid. So yeah.
I'm still looking. It,
uh
Mystery Men.
Mystery Man, that's true. Yes.
Mystery
Mystery
Men.
Man. There you go. We
Mystery
did
Men.
it. We found it. We
It
found the
was
mystery.
something with we solved the mystery. The thing, as soon as I saw this artwork, I was like, "Wait, is this Ben Stiller? Is
It
Ben
is.
Stiller magic?"
It is. It's always been magical and a lot of
Yes,
heart.
but yeah, I agree. I love the fact that Wizard of the Coast in this set uh, are doing these 1-drops because it makes sense. It makes sense
Yeah.
to have these 1-drops like that. You guys can like that. Anybody that makes a new standard deck for the meta, it's fun. You can leeway and have the standard meta be so open. This set is the set that if I had more time to play,
Mhm.
I would get back into standard with this set.
I want to mention one more card before you keep
Tell
going.
me.
I just saw it. It's called Transit Mage. It's right there. 2 colors in a blue for a 2/2 creature human wizard. If you've heard of mages before that are costed at 3 mana and they are 2/2s, you kind of already
Trinket
know what
Mage.
this card is. When this creature enters, you may search your library for an artifact card with mana value 4 or 5, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. I think we have finally completed the cycle. This was the card that we were missing because we'd have for 0 and 1, I believe. We have the 2. We had the 3, that was Trophy Mage. We had the big one, which is Treasure Mage. I think that's for 6. And now we have the 4 or 5. So we have a full range of tutors
Ale,
for artifacts.
we
So
can search for 3 mana. We can search for
You can search for all of them now. That's
Yeah.
all the at least up to 6. Well, because treasure maze is 6 or more. So now we finally completed the cycle. Which is great.
Whatchamacallit the card, man? I totally forgot the one that untaps all of your artifacts.
A winding clock.
Well, winding clock.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can tutor a winding clock with this card. So now we have the card that we needed because there was
Yeah.
always that gap missing. So yeah, I'm gonna get a few copies of those for sure.
Love it.
Yep.
Sexy. Another batch of uncommons.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see here. Another batch of uncommons.
Yeah, because for a few days we even didn't post a lot on TikTok because we were just
Yeah,
seeing about the
exactly.
comments. They were kind of interesting, and we could have spoiled them too, but they weren't that interesting. So, but we have
What
something
what
cool in the other row. So
yes, in the other one we have 2 rares. Which one would you like to take?
yeah, let's do the doggy. So we have a district mascot. He's a 1 green pip for a 0/0 dog mount. He enters with a 1/1 counter on it. Now you may pay 1 colorless and a green, remove 2 counters from this creature, destroy target artifact. Whenever this creature attacks while it's saddled, put a 1/1 counter on it. It has saddle 1. So you play it, it's a 1/1. Then you play something else, you saddle it, you make it a 2/2. Now you have 2 mana. So you can either choose to destroy this card or wait 1 more turn to have 1 more mana, 1 more a 1/1 counter on it. It'll be a 3/3. And then you can pay 2 mana to start blowing artifacts. So it's cool. I don't know if it's gonna like break standard or be used in a lot of green decks, but the versatility's there. So if you
Mhm.
need something to destroy artifacts and still be kind of alive to do stuff, the little doggy can help.
Yep. I completely agree. The next card is Explosive Getaway, 3 and Boros, Sorcery. Exile up to 1 target artifact or creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Explosive Getaway deals 4 damage to each creature. So you can literally save a creature of yours
Yep.
and a small board wipe.
5 mana Boros board wipe in the way Boros only does, where it's
Yep.
burning, it's dealing damage to each creature. So, but it's cool because it makes one of them stay alive.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Mhm.
I want to take this one away. There's only 1 rare.
Yes, this one's kind of cool. Demonic Junker. Ooh, it's very expensive. It's 6 colorless and a black for a 4/3 artifact vehicle, but it has affinity for artifacts, so thank God. When this vehicle enters for each player, destroy up to 1 target creature that player controls. If a creature you control was destroyed this way, put 2 1/1 counters on this vehicle. So, theoretically, you can play it for 1 if you have 6 artifacts on the field, which I guess is theoretically doable if you make like a very vehicle centric deck or a very token based deck. You can put a bunch of maps. You can just do a deck with
Mhm.
maps and just be able to like play this for 1 and be able to destroy 1 creature for each opponent, which means 1 opponent mostly in standard. But in like commander, you can do a bunch. You can it's a one-off. You can destroy 1 big threat from each opponent and then be able to crew it and be able to, plus it if you destroyed something else. It's okay. It's kind of expensive for what it does. I
Mhm.
think if standard requires something like this to exist, it will exist and people will play it because it has the ability to be 1 mana for 3, even though it's a vehicle, but it has the ability to destroy something, so it's kind of good. It all depends if we see a bunch of vehicle decks or a lot of cards that care about artifact token strategies, which allow you to play this for cheap.
Yep. Completely agree. So we have 2 cards here. I'm gonna take the blue one.
Yeah.
Wu Yang Ling Windwider is 2 and 2 blue. Legendary creature, human wizard pilot. When this creature enters battlefield, create a 3/2 colorless vehicle artifact token with crew 1. Vehicles you control have flying. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control with flying deal combat damage to a player, draw a card, and it's a 2/4.
Yep.
I can make sure Kai fly.
Yes, I can make Locust God more broken than already is.
Exactly.
I play my little Locust attack. I draw card. I draw card. I make more Locusts. I draw card. I make more Locusts.
Wow.
Sadly, it's a once per battle phase trigger because it's 1 or more.
Yeah.
But you get to draw cards, so it's cool. It's cool. It's not super overpowered. It's kind of interesting for Mu Yang Ling. I know she does Drakes, as far as I remember from the last time
Yes.
we saw her as a planeswalker. So it's not like something that doesn't make sense for her, and she draws cards, so it is in line with her. She is a little bit nerfed. She could have been a little
Yeah.
more powerful, but the idea of vehicles having flying with her, she's sort of an anthem for flying strategies, so it's kind of cool. I want to touch on Nesting Bot before we get to the other rare.
Go
Nesting
ahead.
Bot it's our other one costed Start Your Engines card. This one is white. It is a 1/1. It is an artifact creature robot. When this creature dies, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. So it already replaces itself, which is great. Max speed. This creature gets +1/+0. It is the uncommon one, so it's not as strong, but the ability to be able to replace itself, the ability to be very annoying. And sure, the max speed is not as good as others, but it's just another enabler. So you could theoretically make a
Exactly.
deck with all these three one drops that allow you to start your engines, and you can potentially kind of like try to push the start your engine strategy as fast as humanly
Hmm.
possible. Now,
Correct.
uh, Perilous Snare. Two colorless and a white for an artifact start your engines. When this artifact enters, exile no land permanent and opponent controls until this artifact leaves the battlefield. Max speed. You tap this. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. Activate only as a sorcery. People are mostly going to play it for the first ability, being able to do an
Yeah.
Oblivion Ring. It's kind of useful. The other one is sort of like an added bonus. If you're already playing sort of a max speed start your engine strategy, then you can just give a 1/1 counter on something to make it slightly more powerful. It's kind of good. I don't know if it deserves to be a rare. It probably is going to be like a bulk rare. I think it would have been better as an uncommon because more people will be able to acquire it, and it will be good for a limited environment. It's it's cool. It's cool. I think.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's okay. It's an
yeah,
okay card.
it's okay.
You can use this like do you remember that there was like mono white weenies that they would use the convoke enchantment to
Yeah,
exile cards? So
yeah,
I think it's gonna have that purpose as well. I'm
yeah.
gonna I'll play a couple and just be a little control.
Hmm.
Okay, we do have one rare here.
Go ahead.
First cloth wrapping. 2 and 2 black artifact. Zombies you control get +1/+1. Has a tap ability. Tap. Target creature card in your graveyard gains embalm. Wow.
Yes.
Until
Yes.
end of turn. The
Yes.
embalm cost is equal to its mana cost. What the frick is this?
Yeah. Yep. You just get to reanimate. Not reanimate, which is kind of different. You make a token. This is
You
zombie
make a
token. So it already
token,
gets a
yeah.
+1/+1 because this is an anthem ability too. And yeah, you just make a copy of the creature in your graveyard.
It's
Yep.
so stupid
Yep.
broken.
It's really good. Really
What
good.
is
I
Wizard
love
of
the
the
card.
Coast with zombies this year, man?
Oh man. I mean, I guess the Aetherdrift, you're going to different planes. So that's their
Yeah.
justification for these crazy freaking cards.
Wow.
Yep.
Here are a couple of other commons and uncommons.
Mhm.
Here is a rare. Take it away.
Okay, Possession Engine. It is a 3 colorless and 2 blue pips for a vehicle artifact, crew 3, and it is a 5/5. When this creature enters, gain control of target creature and opponent controls for as long as you control this vehicle. That creature can't attack or block for as long as you control this vehicle. So you basically steal an opponent's card and you use it to crew this. I guess that's like the best way to kind of like see it. I don't know. It's a rare. It literally costs 49 cents. You can kind of see why.
Yeah,
it's it's too heavily costed for what it is. Now that one over there, that mythic one, I think you should take it
this
away.
one.
That one's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm just making sure because I think that we have already arrived to cards that
Oh,
we have already
we
covered.
have yes.
But still,
Yeah,
just in case if you guys didn't see our first podcast, say, hey, you can actually see it and or listen to it, or Or if you guys go to Spotify, in Spotify, there's a new feature that instead of you can actually watch our podcast as well in
yeah,
Spotify.
yeah.
So
I've been using
eh,
that for a while now.
yeah, so if you
Yeah.
guys can't see us in YouTube or you guys prefer using Spotify as a platform, follow us in Spotify. We are in Spotify and in Apple Podcasts and as well in the YouTube Music because all of our seasons of Cardboard Cave are now available in YouTube Music. I don't know if it's YouTube Podcasts or YouTube Music, but if you search
Mhm.
for us, we'll be there. This
Yep.
card, I think, is stupid bonkers.
Yeah.
March of the World oozes 3 and 3 green pips enchantment. Creatures you control have base power and toughness 6s and are ooze in addition to their other types. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if it's not their turn, you create a 3/3 green elephant token.
Yeah.
Guys, if you guys know, there is an ooze from Karloff Manor that costs like $4 and it's an uncommon. And the deck, I think that the whole deck is with the ooze only.
Yeah, because it's one of those cards you can have as many cards
Many
as you want from
copies,
now.
right?
Yep.
Those, a whole deck of those ooze with a couple of these,
Yep. Yeah.
that's your
Fun.
standard deck.
That's a fun deck. That's what I
Yes,
call a fun deck. And you put a bunch of Lana War and just cards like that make you fast mana, and that's it.
exactly. Now that Foundation is available, you're golden. I'm gonna try and see if I can find the
It's on the MTG page. So if you scroll down a little bit, they're gonna show you the 2 deck lists for the 2, because it's 2 now, 2 commander decks for Aetherdrift Revolt. You can kind of see the cards that are there. I think the spoilers also kind of like divided it up to show you what are the new commander cards. And if you go to TikTok, I believe we spoiled both. We spoiled both new cards from both decks. They're very cool, very awesome cards. Also follow us always on TikTok. We do have an Instagram. We haven't used it a lot, but it's gonna change soon, hopefully. Uh, we were a little afraid by the TikTok ban, so we started, diversifying our assets as
Oh
rich
yeah,
people.
we do have an Instagram. The thing is that sometimes I do think that I have ADD. I think I've discovered it on myself because
Yeah,
sometimes I post in TikTok and when I'm about to post an Instagram, I see something else and I just start doing that other thing.
yeah, it happens a lot. It happens to me too.
But before the commanders, we do want to show you guys the special guest cards that they have all been spoiled.
Yes.
So we do have from the special guest cards, we have Bone Mizir, Cavalier of Dawn, Chandra's Ignition that we spoke about it last episode, and Chromox as well. We do have Galvanic Blast, Lord of
Mhm.
the Undead, Path Break Ibex, Sky Sovereign Console Flagship, Thoughtcast, and Wire of Invention. And these are first place foils for I think that I don't know which event is, but they
Mm,
are going to be providing these as first place in different events.
cool.
But I think that we did mention it, but in chat we mentioned it on our chat. This is the weakest
Trash.
special guest.
Trash. They're relying too much on the gimmick that it looks like secret lair cards, so they think that's
Yes,
enough to kind of incentivize you. But people are just gonna go for the chase rare, which the chase mythic, which is pro monks. That's it. Like
Chromox. Yeah,
the good thing is that I kind of want to get a couple of those top casts because they look very pretty, and I'm pretty sure not gonna be too expensive. Ideally, and maybe one of those War of Inventions. But
hmm,
honestly, yes, I agree. They are very weak. They don't even like remember when they used to at least be a little bit thematically relevant? Like
yeah.
there's 3 of those cards that don't look like they come from Aetherdrift at all.
Like
So I don't know. I don't know.
I understand the two zombies because of
Sure.
the commander. I
Yeah.
understand Galvanic Blast because of the artifact theme,
Sure.
Wire of Invention, Thoughtcast as well, and the flagship because vehicles. Chromox is a great. I think that from all of them, Chromox is the best one.
Yeah, by a lot.
But
by a lot. And even then it Chromas is it
but
only got expensive because was it unbanned? Like is that the one that got unbanned? No,
no,
it's
the
not the one that
unban
got
was
unbanned. I'm
Mox
sorry.
Opal. Mox
Yeah,
Opal.
Chromas is just, something heavily used in Commander because it's one of
Exactly.
our last fast mana that we have.
But then you have
Yeah.
these three.
Hmm.
These three don't make sense.
One is Chandra's Ignition because you have Chandra in this set, and it's Ignition. That's literally it. Cavalry of
Exactly.
Dawn. I have no earthly clue why it's there.
Because it
And
creates a golem artifact,
yes,
probably.
and maybe. And like I said, they don't need to be thematically relevant in terms of mechanics or whatever,
Hmm.
but at least artwork, artwork. A lot of them, I go back to Thoughtcast. Like, it doesn't look like a card from Aetherdrift. It looks like a secret lair card, like straight up a secret lair card.
Exactly. Yeah.
And War of Invention, same thing. It looks like a secret lair card. And I get it.
Bone
You're
Mizier looks like it was taken out from Rick and Morty.
yeah, and sure, he has a car, so I guess sort of justify it a bit. But yeah, I agree with you.
Uh,
This is definitely one of the weakest ones, and they've
yeah.
really been lacking lately with the special guests. They're just relying on the fact that it's special art treatment to kind of justify you kind of going crazy and buying them. And I'm not against having multiple versions of cards. Like I said, having a nice stock cast is kind of cool because it's not a card that costs a lot of money. So probably that special guest would probably be $5, maybe $10. I'd be willing to swing maybe one of those for one of my decks or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know. Just by proxies at this point. Like it's getting to a point where it's like, does it even like it justifies it? I don't know if it does. Why don't we just get a nice proxy from an artist that you like and just use that instead?
Hmm.
Because you probably have all these cards already, except for maybe the Chrome box, because that's the one that's kind of expensive.
Okay. So give me 1 second because
Sure.
there there is a set of cards that at least one
Hmm.
of their most recent preview cards is Ovija Automech Artisan. It's three
Cool.
in green, legendary creature, human artificer. Each creature that's attacking one of your opponents has trample. This
Nice.
is where it gets spicy. For 4 mana, you have a 1/2 that when you pay one green pip, tap, you may put a creature
Oh,
or vehicle card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you put an artifact onto the battlefield this way, put two +1/+1 counters on it.
funny that it says artifact onto the battlefield this way. So it can be a artifact creature and it gets two counters too. For one
Yes.
mana, I'm thankful it is a legendary creature, but that's gonna be abusive. Very much abusive.
Okay.
Just put a bunch of dinosaurs or something on the deck and just go ham.
Right now I'm trying to look for the deck list.
Sure.
But for now, what are your thoughts of the set per se?
The set surprised me. You guys know in the other episode, I was not into it at all. I didn't like the gimmick. I still don't like the gimmick. There are some cards, as per usual, that kind of interest me. But I'll be honest, it's been a hot minute since I've bought singles for decks. You know what I mean? Like I remember we talked about foundations. I did not get anything from it. I got like one pre-release box, and I opened it up. I had fun. I think I posted some booster openings for TikTok. But in general, I did not buy anything that I kind of wanted or maybe was interested from foundations. Same thing with Dustmorn. I did not buy any singles that I actually needed. I think I bought like one or two when I was in New York. They released Dustmorn that weekend, so I bought like one or two cards that I found kind of interesting. One of them was the one that when he's on the field, he has all activated abilities from all creatures on the field. It was like $3, so I was like, I bought that, but I haven't stuck it in any deck because I don't know what to do with it. Um, and I don't know. It's been a hot minute since I've bought singles from the newest sets. I've mostly been trying to find old stuff that I need from previous sets that have been more powerful or more impactful, and I've gotten stuff like that. But like I said, it's been a minute. Like the last time I've committed to like buying cards, and it was also from a set I didn't like a lot. It was Outlaws with Thunder Junction. I bought a couple of I think it was the wanted poster cards because some of them, especially the
Okay.
one what was the card? The blue card that it's a free spell that was like a $70 card and it went down into the gutter
Mana
because it
Drain?
got reprinted. No, I already had a mana drain. It's the other one. It's the one where an opponent when a player plays three spells, you get to exile them from the stack.
Mind Break tap.
Yeah, Mind Break Trap. I got that one for sure, and I got a few other Outlaws of Thunder Junction cards because there was a lot of artifact synergy there too. But it's been a while. It's been a while.
The
Yeah.
last time that I got singles, and it was a trade, and
Mhm.
monetary.
Yeah.
Um, the cards that I got, let me see because I do have a picture around here because I couldn't pick them up. My mother has some of my cards. Um, so I got 6 cards: Muddle
Yeah.
the Mixture, Mental Misstep, March of the Swiss of the Swirl,
Mhm.
Dress Down, Emery, and Faldern Dread Wolf Herald. I
All
got
all
all
are
of them
old
are old.
holders. Exactly. That's the
So
point.
they're all old cards. And I got them because I'm starting to rebuild Shorikai again, but I'm building it little by little, so it's proxy, but I'm buying the cards as I can. And then I think that Faldrin was for the Lara Croft commander that I
Mm.
that I have.
And I also
And
I also have the Marvel characters. So I got Wolverine,
oh right.
I got Iron Man, and I got Storm. And I'm right now in Puerto Rico. That's why I have this setup. Gonna see if for the next couple of days. I'm gonna try to get the cards that I need from those decks because I have a huge collection here. Try to build those decks back so we can play with some of those Marvel decks. But yeah, I haven't. And the only reason why I'm doing it is because I realized like I literally bought the secret layers. I did the box openings for TikTok. Then I just forgot about those cards, and I went until
Oh
like
yeah.
two weeks ago, and I remembered I got these cards, and I haven't even played with them, and it's because of that. It's because I got into a point. It's like it's kind of overwhelming, and I think the issue still stems from the thing I said last time. We don't have a proper structure of how Commander is going to go forth. We don't
Yeah.
know the power bracket system. They haven't talked about it. Perhaps, hopefully, and thankfully, they talk about it in MagicCon in Chicago, which I'm planning on maybe going. Not sure. I already have a place to stay, but I need to buy the tickets, but I might go. So if you see this, if you see us, if you see me, shout out. I'll try to have something. John will help me out. He'll give me something
Yeah.
to kind of like make it obvious that it's us. So I can just
No
walk
worries,
around with
no
that all
worries,
day.
Ale. If you get to go, tell me, and I'll talk to all of the TikTok community members that are going to Chicago, like that they can
Yes.
go ahead and meet you because
I'll do a lot of content, and if we get like breaking news, I'll post it on TikTok too. If we get the chance, but yeah, I hope that they kind of like give us structure already because I haven't been able to kind of engage with the format that I love so much because I don't know what decks to build because I need to take into account how the bracket system is gonna work because
Mhm.
I don't want to make like unnecessarily overpowered, I don't know, Storm deck, even though Storm is gonna be broken as is, but I don't
As
want to
is,
like
yeah.
make it extra broken if I can just power it down and make it kind of more fun. So I would ideally like to have like one for each level if possible. But yeah, like since I
That
don't know,
exactly
yeah.
exactly the same thing as myself. I know I can buy the card, but again, due to the fact that I'm just holding myself on buying cards because
Mhm.
of reasons that I don't want to say yet. But
Yeah,
right now, one of the commanders that I want to build is the Wise Mothman.
he's cool. He's cool.
And the thing is that this is where the dilemma starts. I don't know if I want to build it CDH or I want to build it only fun. So if I had the bracket system that we're waiting for, I would have just gone like, okay, I want to make this CDH because why not? And then I would go ahead and do Kellogg 4 to make it a little bit much more, entry level, not entry level, but a little bit competitive, but not overpowering, you know.
Yeah.
But I just want to know, I just want to know how it's going to work.
Hmm.
But this is where it's going to get interesting, Ale. So
Yep.
we have 2 commander decks. Their value on buying the single cards
Hmm.
for one of them, I
Yeah.
have it right here already. Eternal Light is
That's
257 with 59 cents.
ooh. Because okay, so it's because a lot of the new cards they put like pre-sale numbers. So when before they had a pricing, that deck was hovering around 120. under 30, which is still a great deal regardless. But I think those are kind of inflated prices for the new cards. Because for example,
Pontus
you have
Monument
the
is $6. I think I
and you
have
have
like
the
four.
Temet, like the actual face commander, he's $30. I don't think he's gonna hold, like that's too much money
I
for a
think that
card
the
that
one that would hold up is the
I
Scarab
agree.
Fish.
That's the one that's gonna hold because that ability is uber broken. But the other one I don't think is gonna hold its $30 price tag. But before they had these pre-sale numbers there injected into new cards, I both of them were hovering around the $120 mark, $120 mark. So they're pretty good for the price. I believe these decks will probably be what, $40, hopefully, not hopefully
I
35. That'd be
I
ideal.
think they're gonna be
Um,
like I think MSRP will be 35. I
oh,
think
I pray. If
LGS
it is,
stores
mhm.
I think LGS stores might sell them to 40, 45, depending.
Okay. Well,
You know,
if we'll see what the professor does when he reviews them. He has all the information as usual. If they're 35, I think that's amazing. If they're 40, it's a little more dubious, but I think it'll be worth it. But yeah, let's talk the new cards then. The new cards are going to be the very expensive ones, obviously.
yeah,
And we
so
already talked about a few of them.
we talked about the two face commanders, that those are the
Correct.
ones that we talked. Let's see which one. We have this one that it's a
Mhm.
wizened mentor. I
Yeah.
hope I said it right. Wizened Mentor is one in a white creature zombie cleric. It's a 2/2 that says the following: whenever an opponent activates an ability of a permanent that isn't a mana ability, you create a 1/1 white zombie creature token. This ability only triggers once each turn.
That's cool. Simple, effective. You know.
Let's see. Next card, 725, but that's Zombie Master. Zombie Master is a reprint.
Oh, it's a reprint. It's a very good reprint. So
Oh,
this one,
yeah.
so this deck, if you happen to have the old Demir deck, and then you kind of mix it with this one, you're gonna have a very strong deck.
Yes.
So I don't know. Like I feel like a bunch of these cards are the reprints that you needed in that Demir deck that you didn't get, but you got here. So there's something to be said with doing like the Demir build and kind of mixing them. I don't know if it's justified doing it with three colors, because the good thing about doing it three colors though is that you can put a lot of the Amonkhet zombies, because if you remember, Amonkhet and Our Devastation had a bunch of white zombies that you could never use because there was never a face commander to use them with. But now we have two. So maybe you can just do that instead.
Oh, okay. I thought that the visual preview would have helped us out, but no.
A little bit.
A little bit, but eh, it's not like it's not like Moxfield and the other pages that you can have them all really nicely tucked. But the next card was
The Lost Monarch
it
of
was something
Infear, I think it was.
the lost here you go. Here it is. Lost
That's
Monarch of Infear.
I
You want to
believe
take
it's
this away?
sure. Lost Monarch of Infear, assuming it's new. If not, it's still like a pretty penny. Three colors and a
No,
black, a
it is
4/4.
new.
Yeah. So creature, zombie noble. It has a flick 3, which we haven't seen that in a while. So a flick 3 means
Yes.
whenever this creature becomes blocked, defending player loses 3 life. Other zombies you control have a flick 3, which is kind of crazy already. At the beginning of your second main phase, if a player was dealt combat damage by a zombie this turn, mill 3 cards. Then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, having a flick 3 on all your zombie tokens is bonkers, because now
Broken.
they have to think, am I going to block that and then take 3 damage instead of 2 to try to kill that token, or I'm just going to take 2 damage? And yeah, it becomes a little bit scary.
And let's see, the next card is Prophet of the Scarab. It's 4 and 1 blue. Creature zombie wizard vigilance. When this creature enters the battlefield, draw cards equal to the number of zombies you control or the number of zombie cards in your graveyard, whichever is greater. It's a 3/4.
It's a great bomb. That's a great bomb. Yeah, great bomb.
Jesus.
It's a great deck. It's a great zombie deck.
Oh yeah, this is when I saw like some of the reprints that this deck is gonna have. I think
Mhm.
when I kept looking at the list, I was like, wait, this is being reprinted. I'm
Yep.
looking just in case, guys. I'm looking for any other new card. You know,
The deck
the
has
idea, the idea
mhm.
that the deck has Masswood Nexus. Let's start
Mhm.
over there. It has
Yeah.
God Pharaoh's gift.
Yep.
It has already the Scarab God. He's
Hmm.
already in the deck.
Yep.
What else do you need? You
That's
know,
great.
obviously, what you do is like, for instance, Timeless Dragon, you take it out and you put
Yep.
another zombie.
Yep.
You know, uh, this guy, it has swamp
Hmm.
cycling. It's not that bad,
It's not that bad, but
but
you'll probably
eh,
get something better.
take it out.
Zombies,
It
Zombies
puts
is one of the best tribes. It has a lot of
exactly.
versatility and a lot of really, really powerful cards. So yeah, you can definitely upgrade this a lot.
It has Dread Horde Invasion.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
And then this is one of the new cards that right now is going for
Oh yeah, it
$42.50.
is because it's that good. That's the problem with this card. It's
Want to
too
take it
good.
away?
Yep. Renewed Solidarity. 2 colorless and a white for an enchantment that reads, as this enchantment enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control the chosen type get +1/+0 at the beginning of your end step for each token that you control of the chosen type has entered this turn. Create a token that's a copy of it. Any tribal build that you have that has white and makes a bunch of tokens, there's an auto include forever. Like it's crazy,
You can
especially if you have a way to copy and make copies of actual strong creatures. You're making a token copy of something. Like if you have Hamel the host, and then you have this in the end phase, you make another copy of the copy.
yeah.
Bro, no, it's insane. That's why it's probably $2. It's too
Anointed
good. That actually is gonna
Anointed
maintain its
Procession.
value for sure. For sure.
Anointed Procession and the one from All Will Be One, the white one, the
Oh
Mondrak.
yeah, yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go, two more.
2
Two
more.
more.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know if this
bumping.
one is new. On Wings of
It is
Gold.
I believe it is new. 3 colorless and a white enchantment creatures you control that are zombies and or tokens get +1/+1 and have flying. So now they fly. Whenever one or more cards leave the graveyard, create a 1/1 white zombie creature token. Yeah, it's definitely new. I've never seen freaking
So
white
so
zombie.
so do you have this one with flying? There's this other one that gives flying to zombies.
Of course they do.
There you go, Eternal Skylord. But
Yeah.
it's zombie token. This one is general. This is
Yes,
zombies
that
or
one
token.
is from I think Amonkhet, if I'm not, or Out
Yeah,
of Devastation. I know I've seen it
Hour of
before.
Devastation. Hour of
Yep, yep,
Devastation.
yep.
And I
And
think that
now you
the
have the Accursed Dunyard. That's the other new card. It's the land, the
Cursed
first
Vineyard, the
land.
land.
Oh yeah, look at that! Look at that land. You should take it away.
Okay, so Accursed Dunyard, land. It taps for colorless. For 2 colorless mana, you can tap and regenerate target shade, skeleton, specter, spirit, vampire, wraith, or what the heck? This is man, the one that is
Yes,
for
yes,
scrolls.
yes. It's Scrapyard or Scraveyard or Swarmyard or something like that. But this one's way
What
better.
the
This
heck?
is like 7 types.
Exactly.
I
Oh
can't
my
believe it's
god.
$5. This should be like 20. I don't understand why it's so
Yeah,
cheap, but you
because
should get them.
the expensive one is this one, Unholy Grotto, that it
Oh
says
yeah, yeah.
uh for 1 black pip, put target zombie card from your graveyard on top of your library.
It's really good because then if you lose it, you just put it back up and it's blue. So
But
you're gonna have something
this
to
is
kind of
reprint,
draw
right?
again. And yeah, that is a reprint. If I'm not
That
mistaken,
is a
Holy
reprint.
Grotto is yeah, it's an ultra card.
And as well, I gotta say, I love the fact that in this case, Wizard of the Coast went ahead. The mana base is not that bad. Obviously, 39 lands, too much. But again, this is the the greatness of precons is, especially this one, being the fact that this one is knits away to be perfect. You can actually, for a couple of bucks, I would say with maybe $200, $300,
Hmm.
you can make this. You can make a great commander out of this one.
For sure. Yeah, you just need to get slightly better lands. You don't even need shop lands.
Exactly.
You just need slightly better lands. At this point, like at least this one has pain lands. It
Yeah, it
has a bunch of the
has
check
check
lands.
lands.
Yeah, you got a good base here.
You have a good base.
Yeah, yeah. Sadly, you have
Obviously,
the temples. Temples
the
are horrific.
temples. Those are the ones that you
Chuck them in
go
the trash. Chuck them in the trash.
and you throw
Yeah,
them away.
they're a little
Exactly.
frisbee that you throw away. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is that I don't know yet if we're gonna be able to get this product early, but I know that I know that we might have content for you guys with the pre-cons beforehand. So if we do, just pay attention to our social media. We will be in talks with Titan Games to see what happens. But this is the second one, and this is a lot of people since the Modern Horizon 3 Energy Commander. A lot of people were actually eyeing this one, but we did talk about the cards, the head commander. It's a Healy and PNLR,
Mhm.
and they were both. I think the Sahili was the one that we said that was the most low powered one, and
Yeah,
Pia was like the
it's
best,
sort of
the better
aggressive.
one.
It's aggressive. So Sahili has more versatility because you can just put out 5/5 and you can kind of make a token copy of some really good artifact. So it's good, but it's fixed. It's like a fixed version. It's not super powerful. Piano Large is more aggressive.
Yeah. Then so one of the new cards that we have here is Stringe Hanger Automaton.
Yes.
It's 3 colorless artifact creature construct 1/4. Thoughters you control get +1/+1. Has another ability that says if one or more artifact tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus an additional 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying are created instead.
Really good.
Gee,
It's basically Academy manufacturer.
kind of
It,
manufacturer, yeah.
because it's artifact tokens, so it's not creatures, artifact creature tokens, nothing like that. So that one has a lot of versatility. You can do a lot of stuff with it. So
Hmm.
very good. Ooh, Nisa, that broken Nisa. Nisa, World Soul Speaker, 3 colors and a green, 3/3, legendary creature, elf druid. Landfall, which we haven't seen in a hot minute. Whenever a
Hmm.
land you control enters, you get two free energy. Just 2 simple free energy. You may pay 8 energy, um, rather than pay the mana cost for the permanent spells you cast. So you can be like, I play 4 lands, and now I get to play my 2020 something something. Like slam it on the board.
Emrakul.
Sure. You play freaking Emrakul, play all the Eldrazi you want. That card's crazy. It can be its own deck, like you kind of make a because that
That's
one
what
just
I was
passively
thinking right
gives you
now.
energy. It passively gives you energy, so it's so good.
That's what I was thinking right now. Like this could be its own commander.
Yeah.
Have
You
fun with it.
just have a lot of ramp and just a bunch of big dumb creatures and be like, oh, I'm just gonna cast them basically for free. That's it.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Next card is Rampaging Aetherhood. It's a 5 cost, 1 green and 4 colorless creature snake Hydra Trample Ward 2. And it's a 4/4. And it says the following: at the beginning of your upkeep, you get an amount of energy equal to this creature's power. Then you may pay 1 or more energy. If you do, put that many 1/1 counters on this creature.
It's cool. It takes
Yeah.
a while to kind of build and make it more powerful. So it's okay.
It's an okay card. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's okay. That one's also
This
new.
next one.
Territorial Aether Kite, 4 colorless into red for a cat dragon. It's a 6/5 flying haste. So haste is going to be relevant right now. When this creature enters, you get 2 energy. Then you may pay 1 or more energy. When you do, this creature deals that much damage to each other creature. So you play it, you got some energy build up. You can start basically killing everyone else. You can do like, I don't know,
Mhm.
sacrifice 5 energy, deal 5 damage across the board. You do a little board wipe, you swing. You're protected, you're free. You can do whatever you want. So yeah, pretty good. Triple Kit Titan. We haven't seen that in a while, but that's old. It's an old little card. It's the Wormco engine fixed.
Okay, let's see if we have what else we have here. Hey, disallow.
And they have new
Um,
artwork too for a couple of these cards, which is kind of cool.
yeah, a couple of the cards have new artwork. That
It's
is
just nice. It's
true.
nice. Yeah, and the
The
soul
Soul
rings are
Rings.
different for each deck, so that's good.
Oh, this is the other one.
Yep. So gun, just weird gun because Magic has gun now. Guns, it's guns.
This is adaptive omni tool for 2 mana artifact equipment. It says the following: equip creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Whenever a creature attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may
Mhm.
reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order, and it has equip 3.
Yeah, it's sort of like a sword for artifacts
Mm-hmm.
because it's almost costed like a normal sword would be. I think it's just inverted, but yeah, it's good. You get to dig 6 cards deep. You get an artifact out of it. It's cool. I don't know if I would play it because generally my strategies don't allow for a lot of attacking an opponent or something. But it's a good way to like search and dig
Yep.
deep into the deck. So it's cool.
This is
The
the
other
next
one,
card.
yes, Aetheric Amplifier, 3 mana for an artifact that reads tap at 1 mana of any color. So it's on a baseline of most of the kind of bad mana rocks at 3 costs.
Mm-hmm.
But it has something else to it, which might make it worth your while. You pay 4 mana and you tap it. Choose one. Activate only as a sorcery. You can either double the number of each kind of counter on a target permanent, or you can double the number of each kind of counter you have. So the idea is that you're going to double +1/+1 counters, -1/-1 counters, weird flying counters, or whatever. Or for planeswalkers, you can double the loyalty,
Mm-hmm.
or you can double your energy or
Yep.
your poison counters. Maybe you want to die. I don't know. Whatever. You're kind of crazy. But yes, there's a lot of versatility. So in Super Friends deck, you can use this in your energy deck, which you're obviously going to want to use this. Even in a poison deck, you might want to use that too. So yeah.
Wow, I did not know that bootlegger's
Oh, that
stash is a
crashed.
$2.
I remember buying the foil for like $7 and thinking that was a steal. And yeah, no one uses this card. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I feel like this is such a great magic card. Even
I
at
know.
I think it's like 7. It's even at 6 mana.
6
I think
mana.
it's a fantastic magic card. But I don't know why people just don't like it.
I don't know, man.
Oh,
So
that one's
this is
really good.
another new card. Is Aetherflux Conduit.
Mhm.
6 mana artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, you get an amount of energy equal to the amount of mana spent to cast this spell. And you can tap, pay 50 energy, draw 7 cards. You may cast any number of spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. Holy
Golos for
Golos.
for 50 energy. Do Golos. Yes,
Oh
you do
my
Golos.
god.
Yep. Yeah, it's cookie. It's a cookie card. It's a
It's,
cookie card.
yeah,
I like it. It's a big payoff. I
it's a
like that
big
idea.
payoff. Exactly.
It's a fun payoff that actually doesn't win you the game. It's not like Helix or whatever. Helix Pinnacle, which you get if you have 100 counters, you win. It's not something crazy like you're not gonna outright
Yeah,
win, but you get a bunch of value, which then accumulates more value because if your deck is very, very heavy, top heavy, you're gonna be able to cast all those things for free, and then you just get a bunch of
exactly.
mana. You get a bunch of energy
Yeah.
back. So it's cool.
That in terms of mana, we have Academy Ruins with a new
Great
artwork.
reprint. I am
It's
so
a great
happy that got
reprint.
reprinted. I really want that new artwork. I love Academy Ruins. I am surprised and shocked they actually reprinted it in a sort
Are
of
they working?
standard commander deck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because this one was reprinted in the Tomb Raider Secret Lair.
Yes, but that's the secret layer. That's what I'm saying. Like I really thought they were not going to reprint this ever, and much less in a commander deck. That's crazy. I'm very thankful. Really good pick.
Wizard of the Coast trying to make changes, making us happy.
Yep. Yep. Filter, Painlands. It's a decent
Yeah.
mana base. It's not as bad as they used to be. And well, you got the artifact lands. That's good too. Oh my god, you got
Yeah,
a
it has
treasure vault?
the dual. Yeah, it has a
Dude,
treasure
you got
vault.
a treasure vault. That's nice too. That's a good land. I don't mind. They're kind of like they're sort
You
of
have
nailing the lands,
the artifact lands that you're getting are the dual ones
which are very good.
from
Love those.
Modern Horizon. Modern
Mhm.
Horizon, they're on, yeah, Modern Horizon.
Yep. Pretty good
So
lands.
in all, I think that whichever commander deck that you choose to get is a great investment in whichever commander you get. I think that it's a they both have value. They
Mhm.
both have value. Obviously, it depends on like what strategy you want to do, or if you're a new player, these are great decks to start. Like I say, I say that from both zombies, I think is the best one if you are like, I wanna be in my first commander event. So if you're gonna from these two, I would get zombies. It's a very good commander for for any type of event. You know. So Ale, we have covered all of the spoilers. Next episode, guys. Next episode, JP will be with us, and we are going to be talking about our top 3 cards of the set because hey, we're really close. Like next episode will be the first week of February, so we will be literally close to pre-release. So we're gonna be talking about the top 3 cards of the set. It could be from the commander decks or the set per se. So you guys know that we do this all the time, and we go crazy and bonkers with it. And in all, what are your final thoughts of Aetherdrift? And will you plan on getting any singles from this set?
I think so. I think I'll probably get some singles, especially since there's a lot of synergy for artifacts. There's a lot of synergy for mono blue stuff. Even the energy deck might be something I might be interested in getting. I always love the commander one, the Jeskai energy based deck that came a while back with the guy with the beard. I always liked that deck, but I never got it. But I think I might get this one and that one and kind of mix them together because there's a lot of
Okay.
cool cards here and kind of focus it on the Jeskai build because I do like the Jeskai approach better. That commander is far stronger than Nissa, but I kind of switch around with Nissa and be like a more depowered version of energy because I know energy gets like a bad rap because energy is super broken and uninteractable.
Yeah.
But if you make it with Nissa, it's kind of fair because like once per turn, I get to make a copy of one artifact, as opposed to this guy who's like hitting you in the face every single time with stuff he's getting to copy and all that. So yeah, I'm getting a few stuff for sure.
For myself, I think that I will get the zombie commander. I think that that's something that I want to like dabble in zombies. Uh, when the Scarab God was playable in standard, that was a deck that I always wanted to play, but it was too expensive by the time that when I was already playing. So I think that that's a strategy that I would like to dabble in. And like I said, if I were able to play standard, I think this set would be the one that I would like get back into standard. I will get like a couple of like the singles just for my collection, especially Chandra. I want all of the cards that have like the Akira homage. I want to get them. So I'm super excited for this set. I think that this set will open a lot of doors for standard in regards to the meta game. Meta game will be really really open. So that's really interesting and seeing how it's gonna how it's gonna go through. So nothing, guys. Before we say our goodbyes, a couple of things. Don't forget, if you guys want to spice up your commander and or make it look different, go to altersleeves.com/cardboard cave and or use their code cardboardcave for 10% off your order. As well, go to tolarianlibrary.com if you guys are looking for great quality proxies that you can use them on playtests or with your friends to see how your commander works or your decks. Go to tolarianlibrary.com and use our code CBCMTG. You'll get 20% off your order. And lastly, if you guys are from Puerto Rico or you can check out their TCG player store, just go ahead and look for Titan Games. And we will have all their information of both of their stores down below in the description. But there you guys, if you're visiting Puerto Rico and you guys want to check out one of the biggest LGS stores here in our 100 by 35. I hope I got that right. I hope I got that right. Our 100 by 35. Go ahead and check them out. They are amazing, great people. So, round table, Ale, where can the people find you?
You can find me here at the Cardboard Cave podcast talking about delicious, yummy, sweet, delicious Cardboard Cave. Cardboard Cave, all that. You can find me at Cinemas Podcast. I talk about movies. I interview people every once in a while. I've been a little off. I did my 100 episode recently. I'm trying to restructure a little bit, see what I'm going to do for this year, and hopefully it'll be great. What about you, John?
Well, you guys can find me here in the Cardboard Cave podcast as well. I'm always active in all of our social media and as well paying attention to your comments on YouTube. And as well, you guys can find me I do movie reviews as well and interview people and actors and directors in films. And every twice depending on the month, every twice a month or once a month on a Friday, I am live on the radio in Conexión Espiritual Radio, where I do movie reviews as well, but positive or Christian films. So that's where you guys can find me as well. Nothing, guys. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this piece of content. There's more content going your way, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Rope until I cut it, bala pa tu cabeza, para delicadeza, habla la realeza, salva naturaleza, method for your mentalities, kill them with no fatalities, happy with all the cannabis, welcome to your reality.